Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Activates a Goofy Movie edition in honor of the 30th anniversary. Tonight's throwback topics include the following: best song from a Goofy movie, most pathos-filled scene, and pitch a Goofy ride. Without further delay, put on your life preserver, grab the Cheese Whiz and Old Reliable as we follow the map all the way to LA, where we'll find the arena. In this corner, wearing a possum hat and white gloves, he likes his soup educational and fears Link Hog Throb way more than Bigfoot. It's Pergron!
Hello. All three correct statements.
Yeah. And in the opposing corner, wearing the Powerline shades, an actual Goofy father who likes his cartoon bacon, Canadian and smiling. It's Lazerdude!
I've turned into my father if he was more tech savvy.
And joining me on the jaunty judges panel, it's Tiki and Jacob Weil.
Yo,
Hello, everybody.
I want to clarify that Lazerdude is, in fact, a biological father.
Yep.
Also, I just want to point out, I love how aggressive Powerline looks in this image. He really does. He's like, hey, Max, join me and let's kick your dad's ass in a debate.
He looks like Goofy Loki is what he looks like.
He kind of does, yeah. Seriously, he looks like a little mean in that freeze frame, and I kind of love it.
Well, to be fair, they broke onto his stage, so he
Right.
did it very well considering.
Yep. All right, so I take it we're all doing well. We're all feeling the renewal of spring.
We're all feeling a bit goofy.
Oh, I'm in a mental health spiral right now, but we're not going to talk about that.
So one could say you are feeling goofy, so that's perfect.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, Tiki's in crisis. This is wonderful.
When he falls down his inner spiral, he goes,
The light's on, nobody's home. All right. Okay, who's ready for a little refresher on the rules?
Please.
Okay. I mean, without rules, we are cartoon animals, after all. So, we have 3 rounds. Of course, the way it works, you will reveal your pick, give an opening statement, then fight it out. This sound here is not the voice of God, but the voice of R2, and that is him saying, "Shut up, I've heard enough. You yahoos decide who the winners are." So that's basically the judge of our esteemed judges panel to cast a vote on who made the most compelling argument. Whoever gets the most votes wins the point for the round. And at the end of 3 rounds, because I love you both, I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you a little something. Nothing major, but it's something that's made with love. It's the Goofy gold coin.
All right.
"Oh, sure."
Yeah.
Way it works, quite simply, is the way it works is you have the option to flip it. You don't have to, but if you did, you flip it, lands heads. Good news, you get a point. Look at you with a point. Lands tails. Well, not so lucky. That's life. That's the risk we all take. You could lose a point. You could be under. You would have to work, cheat, and strive, and try again to get that point back and fill the hole in your life.
That's been like 5 heads in a row. Jesus.
So this might be a good omen for you to flip the coin, just based on that
You
demonstration.
just used them all up.
Yeah.
Well,
That is the question.
I won't use any more just to be safe.
Okay, now I will warn you that starting now, there's a penalty word in effect. So I hope you got it all out of your systems, what you can and cannot say. Because there is a penalty word in effect. Could be a name, could be a place, could be a phrase. Could be none of them. I could be lying to you right now.
Of
course.
I'll be keeping an ear out for those.
Of course, if Jacob happens to hear a word, a severe punishment will follow, and you will curse the day you were brought into existence. That's how it works.
So Tuesday?
Yeah, exactly. You'll wish that Tuesday never came.
Just any random Tuesday.
Exactly, any random Tuesday, any Tuesday in the
Dragon,
dawn.
it looks like Tiki and Jacob are like the angel and devil on your shoulder right now. Because
Absolutely.
one is ultra cutesy and the other is like Aku in hell or something. So it's like,
Yeah, pretty. This is my daily life. Only they sound like Patrick Warburton sometimes, but this is my daily life.
Right.
He's not even gonna try.
Right, Dragon, Lazerdude saying he can't hear R2D2.
I can read, Tiki. I can read.
I know you can read, but do you want to test R2D2 one more time just to make sure that that's?
Well, he can never hear it, but I will try again.
yeah.
Any luck?
No, I didn't hear nothing.
Say
So
nothing.
just interrupt me when it gets to that point if I'm talking.
All right.
Okay. All right, so where was I? All right, of course, after the main round, we entered the speed round, in which there is a time limit. We'll also be taking audience questions. So, audience, assuming you're going to be with us later, leave some questions. We'll be inclined to use them. Best part, you get to judge who made the more compelling argument. The decision to give or take a point falls to you, dear sir, madam, or otherwise.
I guess I'm technically otherwise.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you for the inclusion, Dragon. I appreciate it.
You're a Polynesian sculpting of some kind.
All right.
So first, the 5 points wins the game. Gentlemen, do you understand these rules as I've outlined to you both here? This fine, nostalgic, and goofy evening.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Cue the randomizer.
Really quick, I just want to shout out the comments here. We got Kogias saying, of course, he's only seen an extremely goofy movie. However, he's seen the Nostalgia Critics review, so he knows what happens. Kogias, get on it.
Same thing, right?
Exactly the same.
I'm sure
thing. No
Doug
difference in
Walker
the-
has very normal takes about
All right. Oh, we have Hunter Iggy here saying, "Hey guys, how you doing, Hunter Iggy? Happy to have you." Also, Little Blue says he could hear R2 loud and clear. Yeah, I don't know why it's an issue.
Well, that's not going to help me, Little Blue.
I know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I suspect Hunter Iggy just really didn't like that episode of Hey Arnold.
Oh God. All right.
Anyway.
I mean, I'd like to meet the person that does like that episode of Hey Arnold.
Why?
Because I think it'd be a genuinely interesting conversation.
Well, why don't you ask Kogias? He probably likes that episode.
Kogias, do you like Iggy betrays Arnold from Hey Arnold?
Or isn't it Arnold betrays Iggy?
I think that's it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Arnold betrays Iggy. Yeah.
Believe me, for the other way around, it might be a better episode.
All right. Anyways.
Anywho, okay, let's cue the randomizer and find out who's going first and second for our three main rounds.
All right, as you can see, the names are alphabetized.
And completely random.
So when I click on it, we'll see who goes first. 3, 2, 1.
Everyone knows it's Randy.
Lazerdude goes first yet again.
All right. Someone's popular.
Because he also went first last time.
I think Randy likes him.
Oh.
Whenever
Remember-
you say Randy, I just think of Randy Marsh.
Remember, the randomizer used to love
Oh,
me.
sir, I thought this was Canada.
Remember.
Oh God, what if there was a South Park subplot where Randy Marsh had a Canadian half-brother?
I would not be your buddy, friend.
All right, anyways.
Okay.
Remember, remember, the randomizer used to love me.
Yeah, I remember.
All right, so
In other words, Jacob, you thought
Remember when Jacob used to be picked by the randomizer?
All right.
All right. I'm
In other words, Jacob, you thought you had something special.
sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So, hey, we have. Hey, it's like apparently Gogias has heard of that Arnold episode, but he doesn't remember seeing it.
All right, we have LEB here to cheer on the people's champ.
My
Poor
most
chump.
loyal fan.
Pergron.
Your only fan, Pergron.
I think LEB is maybe like she is the most loyal fan of you, more so than like anybody else who follows the channel on anything involving the channel.
I mean, Pergron is very niche in his nature. He is, by definition, he is like there's like a nameplate that says niche somewhere on his person at all
If
times.
she asks a question, she'll be able to, be non-biased.
I'd like to
about
think
it.
that there's a community of zoo people that that really, really like Pergron.
There are.
I'm not surprised.
Do we need a remake of the movie The Zookeeper with Pergron?
I think it would be a better movie.
You really have just mad hatred for Kevin James right now, don't you?
Kevin James is not one of my favorite comedic actors. I'll say that much.
Okay.
Oh, hot take.
I know, right?
Jeez, what are you gonna say next? You don't like Rob Schneider?
I probably prefer Rob Schneider.
You want to stay on
James?
brand? You should have said Pauly Shore.
I probably prefer Pauly Shore to Kevin James.
Oh,
It's like,
wow.
well, that's like what I found like the one person who likes Pauly Shore.
I mean, that one Pinocchio movie seems pretty fun.
It is. It's honestly a blast.
All right, can we get back on topic, please?
I mean, can we just say like this is probably the only good movie that Pauly Shore was in besides Extremely Goofy Movie?
I would agree.
or unless you think
It's the best use of Pauly Shore. He's just a little bit in it. He's funny, and then you leave him behind.
or unless you think that Biodome was like some kind of underrated classic or something.
I like Encino Man a little bit, but I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Okay, to
All
be
right,
fair,
guys, let's get to the debate.
I will second the Encino Man opinion. We will move on from there. Okay. Round numero uno.
If Pergron has one fan, I'm that fan. If Pergron has no fans, then I'm not on this planet.
Exactly.
All right, numero uno then.
Numero uno. So, music is very ingrained in the legacy of a Goofy movie. So it begs the question, what is the best song from, you guessed it, a Goofy movie? Lazerdude, what did you say?
After today,
Okay, he says after today he will tell us what his answer is. So I guess we're going to move on to Pergron.
after today,
Why don't you tell me now?
I'm telling you right now. After today.
I can't deal with this. Okay, Pergron, what's your answer?
I just want to say I appreciate all the bits going on tonight. But I went with Stand Out.
Above the crowd.
Out.
I like how this is like theater kid Max versus cool kid Max.
It looks like he's about to shoot the other version.
Yeah, I was about to
Kind of.
I was about to say that.
That's what you get for singing show tunes.
Nerd.
Okay, so this is a debate to the max. Opening statement, Lazerdude.
A movie's opening song, I think, defines it in so many ways. You got Belle's opening number from Beauty and the Beast that tells all about who she is in the town, her motivations, and what her message is. And After Today is no different. It's the same sort of thing where it shows Max's goal. What is his goal? He doesn't want to be viewed in the same light of his father. That's where he's at as a teenage boy. But the song is also more than that. It establishes Max's goal, but it's also a fun song about summer vacation, about looking forward to it. And it's funny because it includes almost every type of a kid or student that's ever gone to school. It includes cheerleaders, it includes jocks, it includes goth girls, it includes nerds. It includes basically everybody. And even though they're all different and they all have different, likes and dislikes, every single one of them is looking forward to school coming to an end and doing whatever they want after today. It's a great upbeat song. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's got a lot of funny jokes. I mean, who can even forget the "I'm gonna sit on my butt" line? It's just so good. It's just the way the characters work off of the song and the way it also expresses the motivation and determination of our main character, Max, perfectly sets up the plot of the movie and just gets you in the mood to have a good time.
Okay, Pergron.
When I think of best song in a movie, I think of a song I want to bump in the car, right? I think of a song that I want to listen to. And that for me is Stand Out. Stand Out is a song that, all puns intended, stands out among the rest of the songs in this movie. It is energetic, it is fun, it is campy, it is incredibly 90s. And all of that makes for a great addition that you could put onto most playlists and it wouldn't stand out, ironically enough, as something that doesn't belong. It's a song that pretty much you can listen to in any situation. It doesn't have to be specifically tied to the movie. It's not a show tune that you would find in a Broadway musical. It is a song that most people would want to listen to. So that's my opening statement. I yield my time to the chair.
We'll take that chair and let's fight it out.
The biggest problem with Stand Out is what you basically said is positive, that it is such a 90s song, but it doesn't actually add to the movie. It's basically just a soundtrack over Max's actions of him being a rebellious teenager, but the song itself doesn't add anything to that act. It's just the backtrack.
No, it totally does. It is exemplifying his rebellious energy as a teenager. It is him speaking directly to his crush in the only way that the weird little theater kid he is could manage to do. He puts on an entire performance, and the song is absolutely...
the words, though.
The words
are not Max's song. They're another song. So, you could replace this song with any other hip song from the 90s, and it would have had the same effect,
And you
it would have
replace...
what makes this song stand out between any other song that you could have put here?
It's what it means for the characters. I don't really care about the lyrics in the situation. Also, the question's best song, not what song is the most important story-wise.
Okay. Well, what is the best lyric from your song?
What is the best lyric for the song? Stand
yeah,
out.
I don't know a single one of them. Stand out, and then it's la 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 la. That's
Above
about
the
it.
crowd, even if you gotta shout out loud. Tonight is the only something. I don't have the lyrics in front of me.
See, you couldn't get more than a line before you're going something.
Yeah, but you want to know how many songs from After Today? How many lines I know from After Today? None. I genuinely don't know.
I can think of so many moments where it's
it's such a generic opening song to a musical. It is no different than Belle. It is no different than One Jump Ahead from Aladdin.
I think it's different because it ends itself out by being a part.
No,
sorry,
it's the big ensemble. It's the big ensemble number that you obligatorily have to do in every musical movie, where all the side characters that aren't even in the movie get a couple lines and they throw a couple quips, and it's obligatory. You have to do it. I don't think about this song ever. If I was to rank the songs in a Goofy movie, After Today would fall pretty close to the bottom of the list because it's not a song that I want to listen to. It's not a song that outside of the context of the movie means anything to me. I don't want to hear that.
Absolutely not. I think that what it means is it means a lot to those, it's the feeling of summer vacation, that those last minutes of school ticking by and you're just looking forward to, after today, I'm going to have so much time on my hands. After today, I'm going to do so much stuff, and you're just waiting for that moment to come. And that's what it really grabs the spirit of. The moment
Stand Out is about trying to improve.
Where yours is generic as heck. Like, it doesn't make itself needed in the moment. It's just a song they happen to throw in there. And sure, it's catchy, but as I said, the point of it just is it's not really memorable. It's the Max doing his rebellious act over top of the song that's memorable. The parts of him dancing around and like falling through the screen and getting hooked and swung around. That's the memorable parts of that scene. The song itself isn't, where mine, like the whole song itself and all the moments within it are memorable and makes it stand out on its own because of its encapsulating the feeling of summer vacation being right around the corner.
Standout sits here and it looks at your summer vacation song and it goes, I raise you the inner monologue of what the character right now is thinking. This is the, I am now going to take my only opportunity that I have, the last moment that I have to do this. I am going to put myself out there despite being the shy, reclusive kid, and I am going to stand out. It absolutely has to do with the movie. You could not put a different song. If you put in Iris by the fucking Goo Goo Dolls, there is not going to be the same level of
that's
emotion.
just a small thing that it adds on that he's wanting to stand out and be different, sure, but my song shows his entire character arc and what he's
he gets like
through.
what, 3 lines in the entire song? Most of it's just talking about, oh, pep rallies are dumb and oh no, comic books, I don't care.
That's all you need, though.
He's
like, after today I will not be seen as just a goofball.
Yeah, but that comes at
and I won't be seen as someone like my dad. And that's all you needed. Like, if this whole song was him being like, I don't want to be like my dad, it just wouldn't be entertaining. And so I believe that the song gives him just enough to show his excitement for what he's about to do. It shows his wanting to step out and be on his own and to step out of his dad's shadow and just doesn't want to be there. It shows his fears and what he's looking forward to all together.
What does your song directly lead into is my question. It's my song.
It's the beginning setup of the movie.
Yeah, it's the beginning setup of the movie. But you know what? You know what the Circle of Life doesn't immediately do? Go into a better song. This song, your song, immediately, but with like just a little Wallace Shawn monologue, goes directly into mine. My song.
But your song's not even important enough to finish. They only use about a minute, and then it's over, and then they don't even use it all.
The cast album on iTunes does. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is your song isn't even special enough for them to use the whole thing in the movie.
My song is catchy. It's entertaining. It is something I would want to listen to. Kevin Campbell's voice is very powerful. It is a fun song. Nobody... I rephrase this. I and most people don't want to sit there and listen to the opening number from a fucking Broadway production, and that's what you got going on. And if you do want to
about the opening number is over
to you.
The most classic. Look down and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to Look Down over fucking Do You Hear the People Sing. There's better songs.
It's not like a completely unmemorable
I don't want to listen to Belle.
In fact, in Disney movies, the opening monologue is usually the most important character-driven song, and it's no different here.
I can think of...
Okay, we got it. All right. Okay, Jacob.
Now, you see, this is actually kind of interesting. I like both of these picks here, and they both raise really good points. But I think Pergron kind of killed his own argument early on, so I'm going to give my point to Lazerdude.
Okay, Tiki.
Yeah, I honestly I kind of went back and forth. I agree that I feel like Lazerdude had the momentum for a long time. I do think that Pergron he got some of the momentum back by just kind of laying out that it's not, like that there is layers to the song, that it's not just an I want song. I think he did have some fight in him, but ultimately I think the two killer things from Lazerdude were the fact that, you really can't remember a lot of the lyrics to stand out. And then also I think by the end Lazerdude kind of crushed him. One thing I was looking for, though, against standout that I was kind of surprised didn't get brought up is that I really feel like between the two Powerline songs, I think Eye to Eye is clearly the better and more memorable one. So I'm kind of surprised that never got brought up. But
Well, I honestly, in my honest opinion, I don't agree. I prefer Stand Out to Eye, but that's just my personal opinion. I know most people prefer Eye to Eye, but I just like the beat of Stand Out more. So that's why I personally didn't make that.
okay, I mean
thing.
that's fair. But yeah, I'm gonna give the point to Lazerdude.
Well, not that my vote really counts at this juncture, but just to throw it in there, I concur. I would say Laserdude gets the point, so it's a clean sweep.
Woohoo!
Clean sweep in round one. It's funny though. In all the Goofy movie resurgence, I gotta be honest. I never used to be my favorite song for the Goofy movie. I'm not saying it necessarily is, but I think it's the catchiest song in a Goofy movie.
It is pretty catchy. I won't argue with you there.
Yeah. Okay. So on the board, Laserdude 1. Jacob. What was the word said?
Let me rewind.
Mm-hmm.
Pop in the old VHS tapes. Rewind.
Like Zapruder footage, we're going to the tape.
Oh no, Bigfoot ate those, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Well, you don't want to know how we got him back.
Well, I didn't get them back, so I'm kind of relying on my memory now.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, then the word no.
Okay. Safe this time. Anyway, that brings us to. Well, I guess are there any comments we want to shout out first?
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Xavi.
There you go.
That right. My favorite Disney prequel was Lion King 1.5 because Timon and Pumbaa are funny, hilarious, and silly characters for the whole story where they meet Simba. Yeah, it's a fun movie for sure.
LEB says that must impress it back.
Oh my god, sorry.
As an impressive soundtrack, generally beats out a lot of the Disney canon in many regards, but especially musically.
I agree with both of those points. I think it beats out a lot of the Disney canon in a lot of regards, but definitely in terms of the score, for sure. I do agree.
All right.
After today is both the I Want song and the song that establishes the world. It's a dual purpose in a very cool way. Yeah. I mean, I got to admit, for me personally, I'm very partial to After Today. I think Lazerdude made a really good point about just how many demographics of the school are represented in that song, which I think is really cool. You even get a cool Wallace Shawn cameo in that song. Or you'll be suspended.
There's also a Wallace Shawn cameo in my song at the very beginning.
Not in the soundtrack though.
Not in the song.
Soundtrack.
Or Pergron, sorry.
Science slumber party.
Not a musical lyric though.
Okay, a Goofy movie reminds me of the Disney film College Road Trip, which came out years later and is also about a dad hesitant to let his kid go.
Nowhere near as good.
Yeah, definitely. LEP says you could say this song doesn't stand out.
Wait.
What?
Oh, never mind. Wrong show.
Okay.
I don't have that sound cue on this.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of hopeful. Maybe we have a ring show, but it's on a different show.
For a second, I thought, did Ellie say the word? Like, what happens when that happens?
Oh, trust me, Liz, you don't want to know what happens.
I mean, I would like to know what would happen if I happened to say the word the Leaning Tower of Cheesa. Tempting fate there. All right.
He gets slimed with cheese, but we don't really necessarily
the
have
gods
that.
here. Leaning Tower of Cheesa. Anybody? Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
Guys, if you had a cheese aerosol can, would you eat it like he did? At least try it.
Yes. When I was a kid.
This might just be
when
a
I
guy
was a
thing.
kid.
Yeah. Obviously, I might like try a little bit of it now, but I was just like, I think this is a guy thing where like you look at it as like, it doesn't look that bad. My wife is like, that looks.
Well, you kind of have to say it to get the full effect, don't you?
You might say cheddar.
Yeah.
Chat
Yeah,
up, chat up, baby.
Ah,
Chat up, baby.
oh my god. All right. Anyways.
For a
Is
second,
it-
I thought you were baiting me into saying one of the words. I'm like, no.
That's absolutely what I thought was about to happen.
No, of course not.
No.
We're not that mean.
All right, guys.
All right,
You
that
should
brings. You want us to be?
Bait the shit out of us. Come on.
You want,
Oh
you
my
want bait? You want cheesy bait? Is that it?
God.
Lay out the mousetrap, dragon.
That's true. All right. Anywho, that brings us to round numero dos. Which scene from, you guessed it, a Goofy movie, had the most pathos? Lazerdude.
I chose the scene with Max and his dad arguing and coming together as they rode their car down the river.
Did I choose a good image for this?
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, it was the best image I could find of
I
them.
mean,
in
it's
the
not
river.
it's not inaccurate, Jacob. So it's probably fine. But maybe like like certain like more intense moment might have been.
Well, like I said, it's the best one I could find.
I mean, it works. It's not again. This is the button of that scene, so it all we have like an emotional line that brings. Anyway, we're drifting off.
I know. I just
So-
wondered. I was asking Lazerdude anyway.
That's all good.
Okay.
All right, Pergron, what's your pick?
I went with the Hi Dad soup scene.
All right. Lazerdude.
I think when most people watch a Goofy movie, a lot of the times it's a unique experience when you watch it as a kid and when you watch it as an adult. It's a unique experience because when you're a kid, you're just like, oh my goodness, Goofy, leave your son alone. He just wants to, grow up and do his own thing. And then you become an adult, and then you're like, Max, just go with your dad. He's trying to reach out and connect with you on a personal level. And this scene, I think, best reaches that moment for both sides of the coin to reach at a moment where Max is upset or Goofy is upset because he knows that Max has lied to him, and they find themselves falling off in this car in this very intense situation, but they're still arguing with each other, and Max is telling like, hey, Dad, stop like smothering me and stop trying to force me to do these things. Like, I'm grown up, I have my own life. And then Goofy hits back with the tearjerker line of, I know that, I just want to be a part of it. And it's just one of the facts of life is as you grow older, you will have different priorities, and you will, grow out of certain things, and even your parents won't be as a huge part of your life as they used to be, but you have to make an effort to keep them a part of your life. You have to make that effort to keep that connection alive and to show that Goofy cares about his son and wants to be a part of his life, even though he knows he's going to grow up and to, have his own deals and going on. It's an amazing moment where they finally connect with each other.
Right, Paragon.
Yeah, I think the Hi Dad soup scene is just a really powerful one because it comes at a point where there is no resolution. There is like the characters are still very much going through their journey, but it's a brief moment of like coming together in a time where they're still very much struggling, and that feels a lot more realistic. A lot of times you have trouble with your parents, you have disagreements, and most of the time they don't get resolved. You go throughout the rest of your life still having those traumas and those troubles and everything, but there are still those moments of not levity, but of like understanding that you can reach where you can connect, even if you know that going forward and in the past there are still like things that are you're going to disagree on. There are things you're going to never really understand. It's not about that. It's about you are two people who do love and care about each other, and seeing Max do that for his dad after his dad opens up and communicates about something that he's missing and something that he remembers from Max's childhood. I find it to be really emotional, more than like the ending of that storyline, because I do think it's more realistic to not solve those traumatic problems with your parents.
Okay, let's fight up.
I think the thing is, these are both different scenes that are hitting on the same beat. Pergron, they're both going at their relationship and them coming along together, and in one scene it's them slightly moving towards each other. In this scene, they're at odds and then come together. I think there's just a little bit more in the scene. There's just a lot in your scene. It's a lot of just like, yeah, this was nice and that was nice, and then a nice moment happens. Where my scene, everything is coming at a head, everything is hitting harder in that moment, and they finally get to understand. And I think that while you're saying how maybe it's unrealistic for things, it's still a cartoon. Wouldn't you want the movie to end with like Goofy and Max get home and he slams the door and never talks to him again?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
I know it's a cartoon. It doesn't have to be uber realistic, but I do think that if we're gonna pick the moment that was like most emotional, most like the part that gave the most emotion, I feel like the ending, the finale of that arc, the finale of their story, is meant to be like that conclusion where it's like it's supposed to get you like teary-eyed because it's made for that, where this is more of a natural feeling like that. You more naturally feel like, oh, I've been there with my own dad. I've been on like situations with that. But I haven't ever, sat on a floating car down a river and solved all of my problems with my father.
Well, don't act like there's nothing goofy going on in your scene either. I mean,
No, there
Bigfoot's
is.
dancing around in the background.
And that's a little bit of levity that doesn't take away from the scene. I didn't mean the car thing is like to take away from it. I just like it's more emotional because they don't end up resolving their problems. They come together for that moment, and it shows that there is a path forward, which is a lot more realistic and a lot more emotional than getting to solve that problem, because you watch as Max begins to realize that, hey, I've kind of been an asshole, before he immediately goes and does something incredibly selfish right after. It's something that is realistic. It's something that most of us have been through with our own parents. Maybe not this specific. I can't imagine too many of us have had Bigfoot listening to the Bee Gees on a Walkman outside. But it's a scene where we've all done
Maybe an
little
uncle.
things. We've all done little things with our parents. We've all had those communication moments where maybe you're in a big fight, maybe you're mad at each other, but they tell you a story about when you were younger, and it makes you feel bad, even if you weren't perceiving yourself as the
think
bad
though
guy.
the thing that why I think my moment works more than your moment is that at this moment with them, they haven't really had like a blow up at each other recently. They were fishing and Max was a little annoyed with him because Goofy, put his foot down or whatever, Pete said. But they weren't really like Mac was more like just slightly annoyed rather than angry at him. We're here all in my scene, all their anger comes out, and they finally at the end of this get an understanding on where both of them are coming from. Goofy and Max understand each other a little bit more because of the results of their ensuing incident where you're seeing like a few moments before they were almost smiling because they had Bigfoot on tape. They were happy, and so it didn't even really feel like they were at odds too much in that moment. Where my scene, it has the emotional buildup, the anger, and the hostility that both of them had been holding on to through all this time,
I
and the
I
eventual
do
release and understanding.
I do think my scene has all of that because it's maybe not in that specific moment, but you watch it going through the movie. You watch as Max wants nothing to do with his dad or this trip. He wants to be at home with his girlfriend or his crush. He wants to be the cool guy. He wants to go out to I'm trying to avoid saying words here, the concert. He wants to do all this stuff. He's a selfish person because he's a teenager. And you so like maybe they don't have that blow up fight, but you see both of them. You see Goofy as he goes through and he takes him to the animatronic show with the marsupials, and he does all that stuff. And he's wanting to connect with Max, and he's realizing everything he's doing is based on Max as a child. And Max is realizing I'm still my dad's son, and he still sees me as a child, which is both the conflict of the movie and also something that Max and Goofy both have to reckon with. He is a child, but also his own person. And I find that to come really prevalently in this scene where Max and Goofy kind of realize where they're at, even if they don't find themselves completely agreeing on the solution to that. I found it a lot more emotional than, blowing up at each other and then coming to a resolution, something that happens all the time. This felt more grounded and more realistic, and more
I think
emotional.
when it comes down to it, we're putting the moment of the high dad soup when he hands it over, that moment against like Goofy saying, like, I know you have your own life, but I just wanted to be a part of it. Like, I feel like these are the most things that people recognize. And when it comes down to it, I've seen like so many memes and stuff like, whoa, where did Goofy movie have the stones to do this? Like, with using my scene, I haven't really seen like any memes or whatnot using the high dad. So I feel like when it comes to pathos, I feel like my scene has a lot more of a standing out.
I mean, if we're going off of memes, I think the image right on screen right now with a very scary looking power line is the most pathos filled scene in the movie. If we're going based off what's the most common meme that we've seen. Or like the cheese or the pizza. That must
I'm
be
just
like
saying,
the most
like it's the scene that has
scene.
stood out for people, and that the reason why that they've, isolated this as the moment where it's all comes together.
I
Okay, done.
Cool.
Done.
I had nothing else to say.
Me either.
Like, yeah, neither one of us, I think, dislikes the other scene, so it was hard to really even like attack it because, it's not like anything either one of us said was wrong.
Yeah. Excuses.
All right, Tiki.
All right, so once again, I think this is close. Lazerdude had me for a while. And honestly, Lazerdude, I have a feeling you're going to be annoyed by this. I apologize because you said you were kind of running out of stuff to say. But honestly, what lost it for me was when you made the claim that your scene is more memorable than High Dad Soup. Because no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. High Dad Soup, like, Lazerdude, genuinely, I thought a lot of your arguments were up to par. I think you were, frankly, going against a titan in High Dad Soup. Like, I really think this was kind of a not really that even of a debate, frankly. But no, I mean, I think the fact that you tried to double down on, like, no, my scene is more memorable than High Dad Soup. That, to me, like, I don't think you, like, it felt like cope to me. It felt like, okay, like, I need to, like, put the pedal to the metal on this. And it's like, no, I feel like you just kind of explaining the fact that there's more tension in your scene. It's kind of like the big low of lows confrontation of the whole movie, with High Dad Soup. It's a little bit, it's a little bit lighter. Like, I think those are good points. I just think you lost me with the whole, like, no, it's High Dad Soup is definitely the more memorable, and it's definitely the more iconic of the two scenes. So because of that, I'm sorry, but you lost me at the end. I'm sorry. I keep apologizing, but yeah, I got to give Pergron.
Well, okay, so you're giving Pergron the point then.
I am giving Pergron the point, yes.
Okay, let's see.
It was close, but yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Lazerdude, you didn't make me feel
Yes.
anything. You know, I just felt unmoved.
He feels that's it's something Jeffrey Katzenberg actually said once. It's like I believe during a screening of The Lion King, when he was screening the death of Mufasa, he held he's like, my eye, I'm not crying yet.
In the voice of Steve Martin.
He's like, yeah, Jeffrey Katzenberg famously said, I'm not crying yet.
See, that man should run an airport, that Jeffrey Katzenberg. I'm just going to say that. Okay, anyway, so as the roundabout ways, the Pergron, I think, got the point this round. But Jacob, just for the heck of it.
I will mention this, and it'll be evident in my answer. One of the best scenes from not just a goof is simply the scene of Kevin Lima explaining to the animators, "Hi, Dad, soup."
There you go.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
Okay, now let's talk about the big missed opportunity here. I mean, yeah, it's like watching the documentary all over again. As much as I love that documentary, I like their arguments here, guys. Seriously. The motel hot tub scene.
Which LEB.
Like, come on, guys. Seriously, what's wrong? You know what?
Literal implied fucking death isn't even in the conversation here.
What?
What?
Goofy's implied death when he goes over the falls.
That's also, you're right. That's also on the table.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. I think it's funny that out of all the moments we're talking about, we're that's not even registering with people. That just goes to show that
you know what it was.
Sorry.
I kind of actually thought that their reconciliation and then the perfect cast were kind of like one scene. And then when I saw this image, I'm like, oh man, there's a whole song in between there.
Right,
and
right.
I feel like if I went all the way to the perfect cast and include, I'm claiming too much of the movie at that point.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect cast.
No, I feel you, Lazerdude. You definitely kind of worked in a great position in regards to that because you basically had to choose between it. But yeah, for me, I've always thought that the actual perfect cast scene is a little bit more memorable. But,
that's great.
When he says him, he's like, the perfect cast.
Look, nothing against Hi Dad Soup. I want to be clear. The 4 moments in total that we're kind of talking about here. Hi Dad Soup, the argument between father and son while barreling towards the eventually towards the waterfall, but at least towards the water. Hot tub scene. And the perfect cast. I mean, these are all very, very strong scenes. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think anything's ever going to top the acting in that. And in the hot tub scene. That's just me. I don't.
I just thought the only real plot hole with a Goofy movie to me is what did Max think was going to happen when they got to what was it, Las Angeles, Las Vegas?
Yeah, no.
Anyway, what did he think was going to happen when they get there? Did he think his dad was going to be like, "Oh, my destiny looks a lot different"?
Frankly, I think he was so self-centered that he wasn't even really thinking about what was going to happen.
I think
he did say that he panicked. And
I remember even Goofy unless I'm too stupid.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's kind of a teen brain, and he's not really giving his dad enough credit. I think it's the combination. It's the whole thing of I think if it ain't consequences, then of course, he's Goofy. He's not going to notice. But no, this is an evolution of Goofy, my friend. He's going to notice.
Right.
The evolution of Goof.
Goof-olution.
Right. Yes. It's a big YouTube channel with that. Anyway.
Channel. All right.
Sounds like the dog version of certain certain contributors we know. Okay, Jacob. Anything said?
No.
Okay.
I was hoping the word was "Hi, Dad."
That'd be so cruel.
No, they're not that mean.
Okay. So,
I mean, I'm speaking for I guess I should be speaking for myself.
No, I know you are. All right.
He's not denying it.
Oh. Anyway. Any comments we want to highlight real quick? I know there's a lot of discourse on Goofy's marital status, but aside from that, is there anything
we had mentioned LEB like to go in for the motel scene.
Yep.
Apparently, Goofy's feet are full of pathos.
Also, that's what that is.
And apparently, Jeffrey Katzenberg, best known as the founder of Quibi.
Yeah.
And Goofy dies for real.
Oh God. What if the rest of the
There's a
movie
big dip down there at the end of the waterfall?
Sorry.
It is kind of funny how I saw someone point out like the rest of the movie, like when the Goofy gets into trouble, he does his iconic, Goofy yell, but when he's falling, it's an actual like scream.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know it's just like I never thought about it that way before.
No, it's an excellent observation, but yeah. All right, that brings us to round number 3. It's tied up 1-1. Let's see what's going to break the tie. All right, so vacations, Disney brings about a question of rides, and here's that question for you now. Pitch me a Goofy ride. Lazerdude.
Is that the log ride from Lagoon Amusement Park, Jacob?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I just looked up log flume, and
I'm pretty sure it is. That's a random pool. I mean, respect. Anyways, I'm sorry.
You're undercutting his moment, Tiki.
It's just an image I found that had the word log flume on it.
All right, I'm sorry.
Someone throw Tiki out the window right now.
I'm pretty sure it
my
is
ride,
the Lagoon because
my
that
ride
ride
would be called a goof trip.
Sorry.
It's ruined his moment.
My ride would be called a goof trip.
There you go. Pergron.
My ride is a log flume titled Pratt Falls.
First time I've ever heard about that.
And sorry, Lazerdude, when I first heard about this, I wasn't sure what your image would be, so I just went with an image of the map and Goofy tripping.
No, I love it. I didn't even think of the double entendre of the word, but it totally works.
Oh, I didn't mean to. I'll just shut up now.
Thank you. All right, Lazerdude, whenever you're ready.
Well, when I was thinking of, okay, if we're doing a ride based off of a Goofy movie, what are we... I mean, not to say that we have to. It says a Goofy ride could be, but I was visualizing the movie, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be so great if we had a ride that just took us on the road trip that Max and Goofy were on? You know, you start out, you're just driving by all these other animatronic cars. You know, you can see the nuns singing along, all the different people, and you have the soundtrack of an open road playing around you. And then you go into the other room, you see a giant, scary possum park, and then you see a guy saying, "Who's your favorite possum?" And you know, you have that, and then maybe you have like kids jumping on him or some animatronic things jumping on him or something. Just play with that. And then there's just so much places that you could go. You could see that giant house of yarn. You could go to the motor truck rally. I mean, these are quick little scenes that just go bum, 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 bum in the movie, but you can have a moment where you're actually driving by all the different locations and have a lot of inside jokes. You know, you could literally have a moment where you see Goofy and Max driving down the river, and you're going down with them. It's not just a tour, obviously. I'm not talking about a small world. You can just have it a little bit faster and a little bit going, but it's not like super fast. You're still enjoying and watching all the things around you. And of course, you end at the Powerline concert with Max, Goofy, and Powerline on the stage and chilling out while you hear the music around you, or you end with them driving by Roxanne's house. Either way, it's just a Goofy trip. It takes you through all the events of the movie, but it gives you all the stuff that you want to see.
Pergron.
As a theme park fan, if there's one thing theme park fans get sick of, it's people who like theme parks. But if there's another thing that theme park fans get sick of, it is book report dark rides. Book report dark rides where they tell the entire story of the movie, just scene by scene. That's something that people typically overall do not like. They don't want it. They're sick of them. all that stuff. So what I'm pitching here is mainly a name, but of course there has to be a ride going with it. And I think taking from the iconic scene where they are floating down the river in the car, not making a Goofy movie the ride, but rather a Goofy movie inspired attraction where we follow characters that we love, Max and Goofy, as they go on another trip and happen to find themselves in a situation where they are somehow, in Goofy fashion, once again, going down a river. This would be a new story inspired by the beloved scene, without in and of itself recreating every moment from the movie, just because that is, lazy, unoriginal, something that theme parks have been doing since Walt first debuted Peter Pan's Flight, and people are sick of them. So taking a new original story inspired by the movie without directly copying it, and putting it into a fun, thrilling, dark ride log flume.
Okay. Let's find it out. Buy
You
your
know,
ticket.
the biggest problem with your pick is that sure it'll be around for a little bit until Disney makes one movie about a water thing, anything water themed, and that ride's going to be replaced. It's not unique enough to the Goofy story to really last long as its own thing.
If there's one thing Disney likes right now, it's nostalgia. Absolutely, one of their most iconic characters ever, one of the longest lasting characters ever, absolutely would maintain a ride. It wouldn't be a Goofy movie ride, but it would absolutely be specifically a Goofy ride. It would be a ride that is centered around and important about Goofy and Max. It would not be just like a log flume with some light Goofy theming. This would very much be a Goofy ride. It would feature
Yeah, but you're just taking one small thing about the story and putting it on that. You're basically
and you're
doing
taking
what I'm doing,
every
except
scene from the
crappier.
you're doing every scene from the movie.
Yeah, I might have
without-
over exaggerated a little bit. Obviously, you can't have every single place and every little thing, but you can have a lot of them and feel like you're going a part of the movie. I think that people enjoy feeling like they're in the movie. It's like if you're not even going to try to do that, then why even bother? It feels like you're doing Max and Goofy going down the river, but that's it. And so it's like that's gonna just be replaced with Moana 3 when that comes out.
And yours is going to be a generic dark ride number 7 that ends up closing down to be a princess meet and greet in a year and a half.
Doesn't have to be always in the dark. There's a lot of sunny locations. There's a lot of places that were just fun and enjoyable places. Doesn't have to always be inside.
So you're going to do an outside Goofy movie ride with elaborate show scenes.
I didn't say it was all. Look, when it comes down to it, I'm not like the hows and the whys and the whats. I don't care. Like if it did all have to be inside, that's not the end of the world. But if there was possibility of going inside to outside, sure. But if not, whatever. Who cares? I don't care. The point is, I think to see all the locations in the movie, to see them recreated, would be the most fun. It's why whenever you see any remake or of a video game or of a thing, you want to go to locations that you've seen in the movie that you want to visit and say, oh, this is where that was and this is where that happened. And so to see it come to life, and I think Goofy movie is a perfect thing. Since it's a road trip, it perfectly lends itself to this type of ride. That's why
what lends itself to a ride is a solid ride system, like a log flume, something that is high capacity, something that is beloved, something that if they were to build in Florida or even in California or even in somewhere like Hong Kong, Shanghai, these would be places that a water ride, high capacity, high thrill, and also gets you wet and cools you off. That's something that's super important. Doing it based around one of the most
they already have that. It's called
characters.
Splash Mountain,
Except
or whatever it's called now. It might have changed the name, I think.
They
But
have
you know what I mean? It's
18 roller coasters. They can have 2
iconic
log flumes.
log
It's
flume
fine.
ride.
You're not even pitching like a specific. You're just saying, "Oh, a ride." Like I'm not getting anything from that, so it's hard to critique what
It's
you're
a ride
saying
that
because
goes through the events of the movie. You
right, but is
pointed
it
out it what like Peter Pan. It
like
goes
Peter
through the
Pan? So
events
it's
of the movie.
like a dark ride. So you're just doing a storybook, or a book report dark ride. What I'm doing is creating new scenes. Mate, there's scenes that can harken back, but the reason people love things like Radiator Springs Racers, the reason they love things like Indiana Jones Adventure, the reason they love things like A Flight of Passage in Pandora isn't because they're recreating the movies, but because they're capturing the spirit and the essence of those movies, of those scenes people love, of those characters, and
The
telling a
problem with
new
yours is
story
you're
with it.
making like a water log flume type ride when there's already an iconic one already in Disney. So it's like, why would anybody want to go on the pratfalls when there's already the iconic
Why
one
would
to
they
go
want to
on?
go
Where
on
you
Expedition
go,
Everest when there's Slinky Dog Dash? Why would they want to go on Peter Pan's Flight when
oh,
there's
roller
Winnie the
coasters are
Pooh?
different. Come on, don't even give me
Why would
that.
they want to go on the Dumbo when there's Magic Carpets of Aladdin? Like Disney repeats ride systems. That's not like a unique thing
Yeah,
for
but
like it.
have they made another log flume? Have they done
They
that
have
yet?
4 parks. They can easily put this in Hollywood studios and
No,
go,
no, I'm
all right,
asking a
new
genuine
log
question.
flume.
Have they?
Have they? They haven't, but they also
Yeah, so there's
haven't.
probably a reason because there's not demand. You don't need more than one.
They need
So, where at
water
the very least with
rides.
my park, it offers or my ride, I mean, it offers a unique, just fun perspective, and it's just something that kids would just want to go on. They would want
Kids
to
don't
be
care.
able
Goofy
to
movie
enjoy
isn't
the
for.
events of the movie.
If I ask my little cousins, my niece and nephew, if I ask them, hey, you like a Goofy movie? They'd be like, what the? I don't know what that is. But if you ask some childless millennial who's going to Disney World, they're going to be like, yeah, I like a Goofy movie. So you're going to. Why? What would you rather do? A theme park a storybook or book report dark ride that tells the same movie over and over on a really slow track, or do you want to have a fun, engaging story in a thrilling ride system? This
Where are you gonna get
particular,
what story? Are you just like, are there animatronics near the
yeah, of
wet
course there'll be
rides?
animatronics. There would be new
Yeah,
show
they'll
scenes that
short
would
out
tell
because
a
of all
new
the water.
story. There's literally animatronics in the water in Jungle Cruise. Like there are, that is not an issue.
Yeah,
I
fair
feel,
enough. But
yeah,
but
there would
I
have
don't know. I feel like that your ride's gonna be going by so fast. It's just gonna be like, hey, Max, it's
No,
like
it's
you're not gonna
a
be able to
log
hear
flume.
anything.
It goes slow and then it goes up a hill and then you go down a hill, and that's where the thrilling elements come from it. And it would capture the feeling of going down the rapids. You could have up and down moments. You could have faster moments. You could have slower moments. There could be a scene where they're going through a cave and they encounter a bear, maybe Humphrey the Bear, right, from the classic cartoons. There could be a sequence where they pass through any amount of things. They could be going down in through a desert. They could be going up into the wilderness. They could be passing a series of goofy
We can go
shorts
to the
about
moon.
how
Why
to do
not?
sports.
We
They
can go
could go to the
anywhere.
moon. Going to the moon would be super original and fun and could absolutely fit because this would be a cartoon ride about pratfalls, about clumsy, about goofy, and being able to take this and make anything of it is where that originality comes in. You could send them to the moon. That would be very fun. Take them, and now they're on the
Wait,
moon,
are
and then
you
you do
going
the big.
into a dark room for the moon, or are you going outside to the moon?
Well, no, it's a log flume. It would have show buildings, and then you'd go outside. I'm not against
Oh, so
dark
you can
ride.
go inside and outside. You seem to
Yeah.
make it seem like that was an impossibility
Well, for
before.
a dark ride, yeah. I mean, for a log flume, yeah. But what you're pitching, I'm not saying dark ride is in dark ride. I'm saying dark ride is in it's a style of ride where it's slow and it tells a story. Um, like a Peter Pan, like a Small World, something like that. And what you're doing is to me, you're pitching, oh, we're going to do a Peter Pan, but we're doing Goofy movie
I'm
instead.
pitching a road trip with Goofy and Max, and that I think is what most people would want to
And I'm
do when
pitching
it
a road.
comes to going on a trip. You're pitching going down a river, which could be with anybody.
Yeah, but it's a
Okay,
Like
we got it.
why wouldn't
We're
it be?
done.
What would be the
Done.
difference if you took out?
Done.
Guys,
Done.
guys.
Done.
Sorry.
Okay. I vote Pergron. Also, I'm going to say I don't think I like Pergron's family, but I vote Pergron.
Okay then.
Jacob.
And my vote is for Pergron as well.
Tiki.
I vote
Just for the-
Pergron, but with the asterisk that I kind of felt bad for Lazerdude because he didn't really know the semantics of theme park design like Pergron does. So I kind of feel like Pergron had an
I also
advantage
felt
there.
bad for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know what you know. Don't feel bad for what you know.
I don't think it felt that bad.
All right.
Although the up and down has already been done by the greatest ride of all time, right, Tiki?
Chippendale's Treehouse.
Trippendale's Treehouse.
You're goddamn right. You walk up those stairs and then you walk down those stairs.
Now that's a callback.
The magic stairs.
You go up the stairs and you go down the stairs.
It was
It's
really the
literally best
precursor.
thing. Honestly, Chippendale's Treehouse is about in line with what Walt Disney Imagineering is doing recently. So, hey-o. Anyways,
It was the precursor to Escalatorland.
it was literally the precursor to, guess what, guys? We're giving the Magic Mirror a song. All right. Anyways.
Okay.
I love Ellie B here. She's saying, I bought a DVD of a Goofy movie from a garage sale, and Goofy really died at the end with hyper-realistic blood.
Creepypasta.
Oh, someone needs to make the Goofy movie creepypasta, dude. Seriously. Oh my god. Okay.
And Theme Park Priest is here. Hi.
Hey. All right.
LAB says, I pitch a Goofy treehouse where one goes up the stairs and then, this will blow your mind, you go down the stairs.
I don't think that's in Disney's budget, LEB. I mean, they're hemorrhaging money right now. I don't think they're going to be able to afford that.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be funny if Epic Universe had like a Donkey Kong treehouse and it was like an homage to Chippendale's treehouse? You literally just go up the stairs and down the stairs.
I mean, to make it truly authentic, there would be a secret entrance to his banana hoard.
Well, the
Oh,
problem
that would be genuinely kind of cool. All
Well,
right.
Tiki, that ride would be too dangerous. That attraction's too dangerous because there's banana peels and people could slip on them and fall and hurt themselves.
You tell kids red balloons in the treehouse.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, they're going to go after the red balloons. They're going to trip on the bananas and they're, bing, bing, boom,
I'll just say King K. Rool stole all the bananas, so they're not there anymore.
There we go.
Well, they ate them on the way.
No, the Kremlings did not eat the bananas.
All right, how do you know?
Because I played the game.
I know you played that. How do you know they didn't eat the bananas?
They
Say
did.
what they did with them in the original Donkey Kong Country.
Who's to say they need a banana on the way? They had an excess of them.
Yeah, because
oh
when
my
he
god, guys, come on.
when he stole them, because when he took them back, never mind.
But anyway, Tiki's bored, so we're just going to move on. All right. Jacob, was anything said?
No.
Okay. All right, so we have, we're at the end of 3 rounds. So I give you both a little gift. I'm going to give you the Goofy Gold coin. There's yours, Lazerdude. There's yours, Pergron. Are you going to flip it? Huh?
No.
No? Pergron,
Negatory.
are you going to flip it?
No, I'm good.
I'm just going to say I feel rather heartbroken right now. Neither you.
Oh, God.
I want to see what would happen if they flipped the coin. Jacob, flip the coin.
Okay.
I want to see what would have happened to Lazerdude.
All right. Let's see. Ah.
Would have been like the 6th time in a row, Lazerdude. The 6th time! You coward! You bespectacled coward! Anyway.
Jeez.
And all right. So
now we enter the speed round. The way speed round works, it's 30 seconds followed by a 15-second rebuttal. And hey, we're now taking audience questions. So audience, we already have some, but in case you haven't yet, throw us some questions. Assuming you're still here, please, dear God, don't leave us. We all have abandonment issues. Don't leave us. And you will be able to decide who gets the point based on who made the more compelling argument. So
we're really getting to peek into Dragon's psyche this episode.
Okay.
If we
First
didn't
of
have
all-
abandonment issues, we wouldn't be on YouTube asking people to like us.
Or subscribe.
That's true.
All right. So first the 5
Be
points.
sure to like it. Be sure to like and subscribe this video if you want more.
So the first 5 points wins. Joan, you understand these rules as I've reaffirmed them here to you both this fine evening.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Numero uno of the speed round. So, should we go for an audience question first? Jacob, should we go to an audience question first?
I mean, I don't know, Dragon. Do you see one that you like?
Yes. Let me. Oh, I see audience questions. Let me see if there's any I like. All right. Let's see. Okay. You know what?
I like the first one Code Geass threw out.
All right. We'll go and throw it up.
All right, guys. If a Goofy movie ever got a horrific or like
How dare you try and cook
paralysis,
that?
nightmare-inducing live-action remake, which celebrity would you cast as Goofy? And I like that he had to clarify. You have to pick an actor that's still around. No CGI recreations of late actors. As if live-action Goofy isn't horrifying enough.
Damn, I was gonna get Marlon Brando.
Oh my god!
Look how they massacred my boy.
Well, so much for Raul Julia. All right.
Does it have to be?
Okay.
No, he says celebrity. I'm gonna go Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay.
Ooh, solid.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, and Kogias,
See
you do have to
I
vote.
see where you're coming at it from.
And Kogias, you do have to vote for this if you remember.
Yes. Please tell me you're
Oh,
still here,
boy.
Code Geass.
I know they're not gonna like do the voice, the Goofy voice, but I need to like. I still want to pick somebody who like fits the lankiness.
I feel like Bill Farmer, like I know you're not referring to Bill Farmer here, but just for clarification, I think Bill Farmer is kind of off the table here. Can't just be live action Bill Farmer.
There's a very obvious choice that we're all thinking of right now, but it's a question of
Is it the choice from the movie Dragon from the documentary?
Well, spelling it out, Tiki. Yes, that is exactly the choice.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not gonna do that, guy.
I would say maybe back in the 2000s that would be, a good casting call, honestly.
Come on.
I just gotta get to it. You know what? It's the only name coming to mind. I know it's probably a bad pick, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. I'm gonna say Pedro Pascal
Oh God.
because he's been in everything, every remake these days.
Okay.
I would have gone with Eugene Levy.
I was going to go with Jim Carrey, but,
Zachary
Not everything
Levi.
can be Jim Carrey, Dragon.
Well, I mean, look, not everything but Goofy. Of all people, Jim Carrey could
Yeah,
be.
that's solid. That's a solid point. Yeah.
I'm just saying, of all.
Yes, is he still here? So.
All right, good. All right. Pergron.
Yeah, I mean, Weird Al Yankovic is basically the human equivalent of what I imagine Goofy would be like. He's just kind of a weird guy. He's got a silly little voice, but he also has moments of heart. He's genuinely overall a good person. He is somebody I can see being a good dad. He's got the age for it. He's iconic, beloved. He can sing quite well. I think if we were going to make this abomination, he would be one of the least offensive and insulting people to cast as Goofy.
You know, Pedro Pascal might seem like a weird pick from the outside, but on looking at him closely, he's an actor that can adapt to every situation he's in. And you might be like, oh, but he only does serious. No, Pedro Pascal has done a lot of comedic and over-the-top antics. And I think even though this is a terrible movie, one of the things that really convinced me on this pick was Wonder Woman's sequel, because he was an over-the-top, talk a mile a minute type of guy, but he always has shown in all of this stuff, especially in The Last of Us, that he can show the heart when needed.
So we're putting Pedro Pascal as a dad again. We're going to do The Mandalorian, and we're also going to do The Last of Us again. No, thank you. Pedro Pascal, serious. He's in everything. Weird Al Yankovic is unique. He is inspired, and I think he would play an amazing Goofy.
Weird Al Yankovic is too on the nose. It's just like, oh yeah, he's silly, so we get a silly guy. And you know what? The Goofy movie shows that you need somebody that has to have that little bit of depth with the character. And Weird Al is just a weird guy.
Such bloodlust this podcast.
And
All right, well, it's in a higher power than ours, gentlemen.
Any other casting choices that you guys can think of?
Zachary Levi.
John
Fucking
Mulaney.
Timothy
That's
Chalamet
not
is
bad.
Max.
Okay, John Mulaney.
Oh, John Mulaney's
Oh.
very solid. That's a
good
very
pick.
solid pick.
Danny
My
DeVito.
mind went to Benedict Cumberbatch because he's tall, but I didn't see it in my head. I didn't see it.
Kogias is voting for Lazerdude.
All right, but seriously, John Mulaney is Goofy and Timothy Chalamet is Max. Let's
There
make
you
it
go.
happen.
There you go.
And a point to Pedro Pascal. He did play Mario. He did play live
Yeah,
action
honestly,
Mario.
Pedro Pascal was
John
definitely
Goodman
the
as Pete.
yeah. Pedro Pascal was definitely the underdog here, but I think Lazerdude did put up a good argument for it. I think he's definitely like the more unconventional pick, but
And
I also forgot who was judging this round. I should have picked
Are you
Michael.
throwing shade at Code Geass on that one?
Not at all.
All right, Little Blue, I appreciate your question. I kind of feel like for a speed round, you should have the question be like a little bit more specific.
It's like a
So if you
rhetorical
want to do like a question in regards to like a Goofy movie stage show, like, you know, I don't know. Don't you think, Dragon? I just think like, how would a Goofy movie work as a stage show? Like, I don't really think you could do that as a
It's more of a kind of a
What?
pathetic,
Next question.
kind of a pathetic question.
right?
Okay, quick draw time.
Oh boy.
Better road movie duo: Max and Goofy, or Kermit and Fozzie Bear.
Kermit and Fozzie.
Max and Goofy.
Okay. There's a Pergron first with Kermit and Fozzie. And we have Lazerdude going second with Max and Goofy. All right.
Kermit and Fozzie get along. Like, and they're friends. They like each other. Max and Goofy just don't like each other for most of the runtime of a Goofy movie. I would not want to be in a car with the two of those people, airing all of their grief. I would absolutely love to sing show tunes and somehow end up in Saskatchewan with Kermit and Fozzie. They're unbothered. They are enjoying their time. They're singing songs. They're being chased by somebody who wants to eat them. I mean, that's fun as hell. I would be very excited to join that road trip.
Max and Goofy, while at first are a little bit against each other, you can see when the trip is going, it finally goes on both of their sides enjoying it when Goofy finally puts trust in Max. He gives Max the map, and so first Max goes to all the stuff Max wants to do. He goes to a demolition derby. He goes to all this very loud and over-the-top stuff, and then he realizes that Goofy isn't having fun, and he takes that feelings in consideration, goes to the House of Yarn and stuff like that to make his dad happy.
With Kermit and Fozzie, we're doing fun shit. We're meeting wacky characters. We're not listening to a bickering father and son the entire time that we're going on a trip. We're going to have a good time. We're going to meet some rock stars. We're going to meet some pigs. We're going to judge a beauty contest. We're going to do all kinds of stuff.
What are you going to do? Like, the whole movie is just them driving. They barely ever stop anywhere except to get a different car and stuff. Where at least Goofy and Max are having fun on the road trip. They go to different places. They have each other's company and enjoy it.
Okay. Jacob.
Oh boy. This was definitely a well fought round, I will admit. Although I think I'm gonna Although I think I'm gonna go for Kermit and Fozzie on this one.
All right, that's a point for Pergron.
I mean, and besides, their map allows them to actually travel there quickly. So, point for
Now we're just
Pergron.
combining all the Muppet movies. No, just kidding.
I'm just saying.
Is traveling by map not a thing in a Muppet movie?
Not
No.
not literally, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
well,
know.
no movie. I'm just saying the idea is like pull the map up and then they up to Saskatchewan. I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as literal as it was in Muppets
In Muppets
2011.
2011, right?
Yeah, there was literally a button to travel by map.
literally.
But it was Fozzie's idea, I think.
That's true.
I mean, granted, they also had like Gary, Mary, and 80s Robot in there, but and I think Walter, obviously, but again, we're pulling hairs at this point.
80s Robot is such a random thing. It barely ever is in the movie.
I
and
just think it's
like,
funny that so I think Pergron said like Doc guy was only trying to eat Kermit. He wasn't trying to eat Fozzie. He wasn't trying to eat the bear.
And I meant splitting hairs, not pulling hairs.
All right.
Lot
Little
of
Lou, I think your question is still a little too niche for a speed round, but to answer your question, I would do a full-blown, like, brick-by-brick recreation of the Lester's Possum Farm animatronic show.
Oh, Tiki, did you from the documentary? Did you actually look into the recreation of the possum show?
No, I did not.
There's someone who I think it's from the same people who did like the live action.
It is
from the same people who did the live action after today. Also did like,
That's them.
and they even brought in Bill Farmer and Jason Marsden to do it,
And Kevin Lima.
and him too.
Right. So, sorry, let me try this. Okay, let's spin our wheels a little here, guys.
Okay.
All right, it's time for the Wheel of Disney.
Let me modify that title if I have to change that. Sorry.
Anyway,
Just explain, Dragon. Just explain.
Okay, anyway, so again, Wheel of Disney. The way it's going to work, you're going to spin a wheel, you win an answer, which happens to be a Disney movie. And only then will the question be revealed.
If this is all the Renaissance movies, I feel personally attacked that Rescuers Down Under isn't on here.
Tiki, sit in your chair, please.
I second the motion.
Just wait until you hear the question.
Okay. Actually, Little Mermaid's not on here either, is it? So never mind.
No, Tiki, it's not.
Because those were in the. Never mind.
Okay. I apologize.
Okay, so let's see. So, Pergron, you get the most recent points. So do you want to spin first or second?
I'll spin second.
Okay,
All right.
Laserdude's going first. Let's see what he gets.
Laserdude in 3, 2, 1.
Wheel of Morality. Turn. Oh, right down the line there. Where is that going to... Okay.
Hunchback.
Hunchback.
All right.
All right, let's see what Pergron...
I better not have to defend Judge Frollo as a good driving partner.
Oh, God.
All right, let's spin.
Judge Kroll.
Yeah,
I think you would be very down with just running over homeless people.
he really likes crawlers, Judge Kroll, though.
All right. Tarzan.
Yeah. Ooh, Tarzana. All right. Another Kevin Lima movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Here is the question, boys. Which 90s Disney movie would be made better as a road movie, as a travelogue piece?
Oh, God.
You weren't far off.
Quasimodo and Frodo on a road trip.
Well, not Frodo, but yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Oh, God. I mean, that was
Choose
really
them
kind
to
of
be in the
confusing.
car.
I want to see these alternate movies that you two are pitching with Crollo and Frodo. There's a duo for you.
They're the two Hobbit people that didn't go on the trip.
Right.
Quasimodo and Croto.
We didn't shave our feet.
Quasi Croto.
Oh dear. Okay. Okay.
I can't
I'm
carry
curious how
you,
this is gonna
Crossy
play out.
Quoto.
All right.
Can we
So
all just agree that Mary and Pippin doing a road trip movie would be like the ultimate road trip movie?
well, they kind of already traveled by end.
That
Yeah,
already
yeah, you're right.
that
you're
already
right.
exists. It's called Harold and Kumar.
All right, I'm ready.
All right,
Alright,
so
do it.
Laserdude with Hunchback.
Okay, so imagine this: Quasimodo helps Esmeralda escape, and she says, "Come with me." And he's like, "But if I leave with you, Frollo will chase me everywhere we go." And she says, "Don't worry, we can use a cart and just keep on running." So that's what they do. They get into a cart, they just run away, but Frollo is obsessed, so he gets into a wagon and just is chasing. It's a chase on the road, and eventually Phoebus switches sides and goes with Esmeralda and Quasimodo, which has love triangle fun stuff on the road. It's great.
That legitimately sounded like a Hunchback version of Wacky Racers. And I don't say that in a bad way at all.
Tiki, nothing. You're helping them. Since,
All right. So logically, Tarzan kind of makes sense because gorillas are very nomadic. They move in different areas. They never spend the night in the same spot. So Tarzan following these gorillas as they try to escape Clayton as he's hunting them down, it kind of lends itself to a very easy transition into a road movie. It wouldn't be by car probably, but I think a road movie can be trekking. I would call Brother Bear a road movie. So following this group of gorillas and Tarzan as they deal with the jungle.
I mean, why would Tarzan run? He's a warrior. He would go after Clayton and not just be like, "Okay, guys, I got to keep moving, especially since Clayton would have advanced technology to help catch him and knock him down. So it wouldn't be much of a trip movie, where my movie has a lot of comedic potential. Oh, right. Sorry, 15 seconds.
Quasimodo's just going to drag the entire crew down. I'm sorry. He's not going very fast at all. They are going to end up getting stuck. They're going to be caught. At least Tarzan and the gorillas, it makes sense why they're constantly on the move. Quasimodo, he's going to slow the group down.
Okay. I'm giving this one to Laserdude.
All right, Laserdude gets that brings it 3-3.
I think it's interesting. Tiki threw out Wacky Races. I'm thinking more Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That was a good one.
I think Pergron had a really tough road considering was in a place that had no roads.
Imagine Frollo as a Hanna-Barbera villain.
Oh god.
Well, it'd be Dick Dastardly without the mustache.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be ridiculous.
Does that mean Esmeralda's like Penelope Pitstop or something?
I mean, I guess. Anyway, what an unfortunate name she had, by the way. Like Penelope Pitstop. She's named after a bladder condition. It's essentially what she's doing.
I mean, Pitstop is an actual thing.
Penelope will be
No,
Pitstop.
I'm just saying it's
right.
like the idea she constantly has to use the bathroom. Essentially, is what her name is.
I know.
Pitstop.
All right.
Guido's just following her around.
Like, no, Guido, stop it! All right, let's see. Oh boy, a lot of good ones here. I'm debating. We should give Tiki one of his.
You're debating that?
Well, it is the proper venue for that, Tiki. All right. Okay, so
give the boys question, Dragon.
all right. Okay. Besides a Goofy movie, what is the most 90s piece of Disney media?
Besides the Goofy movie, what's the most 90s thing Disney made?
So basically, it could be a show, a movie, a theme park attraction, even a special, anything. Just
Got
a
it.
piece
Got
of
it.
media
Got it.
in
Okay.
general.
The
Video
Mickey,
game.
the Mickey Mania Parade.
Oh man, deep cut, but yeah.
Mickey Mania Parade. All right.
Quack Pack.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
also very. Oh God, two good choices. Okay,
That's the one that immediately popped in my head once I heard this question.
right.
Okay, wait. I have to look up a second what Pergrons even is.
All right,
What was it?
give Laserdude 1 minute. 1 minute on the clock for research.
Okay.
What was the name of the thing?
Mickey, pause it. Pause the time. Pergron.
Oh.
Yeah, Pergron. What's the name of it?
Mickey Mania Parade.
Mickey Mania Parade. All right, go. 1 minute. 1 minute of research.
I knew this question was a mistake. Oh, God.
That was his mistake.
I don't know what. There we go.
That's what I get for trying to be a nice guy.
Right.
I apologize in advance, folks, for being experimental tonight.
It's all good. So, Dragon, you guys got Phineas and Ferber Capinator coming out tomorrow,
Yeah.
Last I checked.
right?
Is
And
it-
then
is it-
Sunday, we're doing something very special. We're doing the Sin City 20th anniversary retrospect. God damn, it just it literally feels like I literally remember what I had for lunch the day that I went to see Sin City.
What did you have for lunch?
AFC.
Okay, it tracks.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
I'm old. All right.
Well, we'll be doing it via we're doing it simulcast from the retirement home that Tiki's currently at.
It's in black and white too.
Oh God! Oh man! All
Yep,
right.
back in the olden days, that's what it looked like. Had a little bit of
Black
color,
and white with just a splash of color.
just like Schindler's List.
Oh God! Yeah, right.
Oh God.
Anyway,
If there's one thing Sin City and Schindler's List have in common, it's that.
death in the color red.
All right.
Okay,
All right, Pergron, when you're ready, Mickey Mania.
All right, so the Mickey Mania Parade is the most fucking 90s bullshit Disney has ever put to anything. This is a parade where it's basically the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade with giant inflatable Mickeys. There are Mickeys walking on their hands. There are Mickeys everywhere. It's a Mickey fucking palooza. One of the scenes is Mickey in a 90s rap attire rapping. All right, this is fucking insane that this was at a park for like 4 years.
No.
Quack Pack was like, okay, we're making a show, and it's going to be about teenagers. So what is their attitude? That's it. That's what they had. Attitude. Do we differentiate Huey, Dewey, and Louie in all these days? No, they're all just boring teenagers who don't have any characteristics other than they lean against stuff, man, and they have attitude, and they give it to their uncle. They give him what for, because that's what kids are into these days. It's one of the biggest mistakes that Disney has ever done.
Quack Pack captures the more late 80s kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles than it does 90s to me. 90s Disney to me is insane, it's weird, it's experimental. Mickey Mania is all of those things, and it's nightmare fuel to add on to it.
From what I read about the parade, it's just like, yeah, it was a parade with a little bit of like skateboarding and a little bit of like 90s, like that's nothing. They built an entire show of what if the Huey, Dewey, and Louie had attitude. That's 90s to its core.
okay, so I know what the right answer is, but this was Tiki's question. So Tiki, you're going to decide who wins. I'm going to judge you based on if you pick the right answer.
Oh dear. Okay. I honestly think for me it's pretty simple. Pergron, I don't necessarily disagree with you that like the Mickey Mania Parade embodies like the 90s Disney of like just being weird and experimental. Like I agree with you there. It is 90s Disney. However, I think Quack Pack is quintessential 90s. Like forget the Disney, just quintessential 90s. Plus bonus points to Lazerdude for the delivery. I love the whole like observation of they lean against stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Lazerdude.
And
All
Is
right.
that correct, Dragon?
Tiki, that is absolutely correct.
Yay! All right.
Did you
The
guys?
boy
have you guys
can be
ever
taught.
Have you guys ever heard of Mickey Unwrapped?
No.
I'm
Yes.
afraid to
It's a
find out.
Mickey Mouse rap album
Oh no!
where he
Oh.
sings songs like "There It Went" and "It's Mickey," and with fun tracks with DJ Goof and Minnie Mouse in the house.
Oh, God.
Oh god! I think Dragon just
And
died.
they
a
actually
little
have the
inside.
guys that did "Whoop There It Is" like play it on the album.
It's like Cary
I
Grant.
only
won
thought of that
for rap.
after I'd already said Quack Pack, but I'm like, man, that would have been an instant win.
Okay then.
Well, that's the
And
start of the work.
I thought the Eurobeat album was weird.
Okay. All right. Let me see. What do we want to use?
I mean, but seriously, the Eurobeat album does have some pretty neat stuff on it.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Jacob, would you like me to use one of your speed rounds?
Yes.
This could be the last one.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
possibly. It depends if
Hopefully.
Pergron tries. Okay.
Come on, People's Champ, don't let your fangirl down.
She's wearing her People's Champ T-shirt and everything.
I could Java the Hutt
So
this right now.
mine.
Also, she's cuddling her Perry the Platypus figure that has like Pergron written on the belly.
Perry,
Okay, now you're just making it creepy, dude.
Pergron the
God
platypus.
damn. Please point LAB is like not super creepy, please.
I mean, it's just it's
God's
like
platypus.
it's Perry the Platypus.
That's
Yeah,
just
really.
like that's very specific.
Go Pergron.
Very specific, like creepy fanboy energy there.
Really? I was going off the whole Perry the Gron running gag on that, I swear. That's where I was pulling that from, but okay. All right. Which Disney movie deserves an in-depth feature documentary next?
Well, this is interesting because you almost have to choose a movie that came out after DVDs because a lot of the old DVDs like had a pretty good documentary like on the making.
Well, a feature documentary, like a documentary film, kind of like what we have with
I
Mount
guess. Okay. This is just give me a moment.
I have my answer, but I'm not playing, obviously.
Yep.
You can give your answer
She's
after
gonna
they
sit there then.
you can give your answer after they say theirs.
Was that a Norman quote, Dragon? I'm just gonna sit here then.
Yep, he's just gonna
Okay, that's
sit
what I
there
thought.
then.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I winged her character at best. It was an assassination.
You know, it's funny. This isn't like there's no real wrong answers. Well, there's a few wrong answers, but it's like I'm gonna choose Fantasia.
Ooh. Fantasia.
Okay.
Okay.
Chicken Little.
What?
I would have chosen the Black Cauldron. I think there's a wealth of fucking story there. Like, there's so much there to dive into.
The funny thing is that was even kind of brought up and not just a goof.
There's so many, like, you could interview Tim Burton. Like, there's so many different, like, people who had their hands in that movie. Anyways.
I'd watch it. It would have been good, but you could make a series of movie documentaries about that.
Right.
And then the studio got involved.
All right.
All right.
Fantasia, when you're ready.
Okay. You know, when it comes to the movie of Fantasia, every single bit, every single short, every little thing about it offers a new, unique perspective. And to see an in-depth documentary about every short and the different meaning and how when the notes go this way, the colors go this way in different shorts, and how they use the music and the animation to come together in these things to tell a perfect story. I would love to hear from the conductors and the animators and how both of them use their talents to make it great.
All that sounds great, but it's tough because I think they're all dead. I just want to know why. I just want to know why. I want to know how. I want to know why. So I think Chicken Little needs something. Why? Why Chicken Little? Why did we do this? How did we do this? Why? Why?
Well, Paragon, obviously the biggest problem with yours is like they're not going to make a documentary just for you to find out. Where even if the people in mind, yeah, sure, maybe they're dead, but there's still records and there's still experts that you can get in contact with to show all the different meanings.
Yeah, but they're all dead. They're all dead. I just want to know why. I just want to know why Chicken Little happened, and I think that in and of itself is worthy because we all have these questions. We're all haunted by butt cluck at night. I just need to know.
Well, Jacob, you wrought this. You decide.
Well, dang it, you forgot to do R2D2 for Lazerdudes. I'm just saying.
Well, that's really petty, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm just
I
calling
couldn't
on-
hear it anyway, so
I
Yeah,
mean,
again,
my point.
I mean, it didn't even show up at all.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, I'm just gonna say it by doing this, and that basically that was another Jabba the Hutt moment for Pergron. Lazerdude wins.
I feel like that was a moment of. He'll have a chance if all he has to do is try. And I feel like Paragron's like, oh, I'll show you how little.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Honestly, I feel like Lazerdude, like you literally pointed out, like, oh, what if it has to be after Fantasia? I can assure you has a lot of documentary coverage on it. Like, there's a lot of stuff documented.
Sure, I'm sure there is.
So, but I do think you still made a compelling argument for going in depth on every short. Like, I would watch the hell out of that. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, if only, and there's not even a thing like archival footage if they had the foresight to film interviews back then. I would have
It's a
been.
shame that I don't think Leonard Maltin is in good enough health to be like, get Leonard Maltin.
Wait, what do you mean? Is something happened to Leonard Maltin?
I thought he was in bad health like a couple of years ago. Honestly,
No,
What really we should do is a documentary on Fantasia 2000s and just
That
ask
would be
Martin,
genuinely
why were you unfunny? Why were you guys just not funny this whole time?
I just. By the way, I will say we'll give Pergron credit on here. I love that his argument of just why reminded me so much of Lalo Salamanca from also. I just want to hear the story.
But I mean, basically, my response to his whole thing is just why.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Dragon, I'm terribly sorry. For
cool.
some reason, I thought that Leonard Maltin got sick a couple years ago, but no, he's still hosting a podcast.
Right?
He's still teaching.
Don't scare the people like that.
I'm sorry.
You're going to incite a panic.
When Paragon first just started saying why.
Parkinson's. That's what it is.
When Paragon first just started saying why, I was like, so you really want them to make a hate documentary about a movie that you hate? And I thought, actually, a hate documentary sounds pretty good. I don't want to give them any fuel.
The people's gym is not necessarily the actual gym, but it's true. Pergron fans keep believing.
I mean, frankly, I think The Disaster Artist would have worked a lot better as a documentary than the movie we ended up getting.
Well, there's still a documentary in the works right now, but
Yeah.
we don't know if it's ever going to see the light of day.
Congratulations on your victory, Lazerdude.
Yeah, good effort.
How hollow does it feel, Lazerdude? Do you feel good? Did it feel worth it?
It feels a little bit like the last one was like, oh, feels like the last one was a gimme. So
Yeah,
I wanted to fight for it, but you know what? That's okay. That's fine. That's his victory of he's going to make me not enjoy my victory. I'm not going to let that happen.
We call that a classic Jabba.
Alternately known as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man moment, too.
He pulled a Jabba a week early.
No, good
Like,
game, good fun, all around.
Like,
Good goofy fun.
Good goofy fun, yes.
Gosh.
Let me take the word off of Pergron's face. There we go.
What were the
right.
words?
Yeah, tell them the words, Jacob.
You guys came really close several times.
Yeah, very close.
The words were Walt Disney,
Oh.
Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
I called it.
Well, that one I was worried about.
Yeah, thanks a lot, by the way.
Sorry.
And Goof Troop.
I was worried about Goof Troop as well. Because my first thought when it was the 90s answer, I was like, well, Goof Troop was very 90s-ish, wasn't it?
right. I don't think Goof Troop was it Goof Troop technically in the 80s, like late 80s.
I don't know, actually. Actually,
Yeah.
that's why I also didn't go with that one, because I never watched it.
Uh-huh.
But
think Goof
I watched
Troop is kind of what you
Quack
were talking about as far as like the edginess of something like the Ninja Turtles. I think
Yeah.
Black Pack kind of takes it up a little bit.
I've never seen
No.
Quack Pack. I never plan on
Good.
seeing Quack Pack.
Goof Troop was 92.
Pergron, you mean you're not gonna like literally as soon as we end this, you're not just gonna go on to Disney Plus right now and fucking
There's an
just
episode
binge
where they
the
all
entire
become
series?
superheroes, and then Donald X gets into the superhero machine, and he becomes a supervillain, and he kicks all their butt. It's hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of tempted just because I need something light after my mental health shit today.
You know what? Quack Pack wasn't a great show, but there's still 2 episodes that I remember. It's that one and
God.
one where Donald makes excuses why he was late for work, and it just keeps on amping up and until an alien invasion, and then his boss doesn't believe him, and then it cuts out to the alien invaders. It's like, why didn't they believe him? It was a perfectly logical explanation.
That sounds genuinely entertaining, I'm not gonna lie.
Those are the only 2 that I remember.
All right. Does sound funny though.
Okay.
All right, I think
No,
we should. I think we should just probably end this now.
Yeah, let's thank the folks
Yep.
for tuning in.
Thank you, LEB, Code Geass. I think we had briefly had Theme Park Priest and Xavi, and also Hunter Iggy.
Did we say
And
Little
Eli.
Blue?
I thought I said Little Blue, but
I don't think you did. That's
I
what
don't think you did.
most of
oh, nothing. All right, well, Little Blue then
There you go.
as well. Eli of Little Blue Productions, as he likes to be known.
That's what's on his parking space.
Right. All right. No, but this has been really fun, guys.
Very goofy.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Always great part of it.
Also, this podcast is unofficially sponsored by Not Just a Goof. Watch it for the 30th anniversary.
That's their slogan. That's their advertising campaign. Not
That'd
just
be
a goof.
cooler plug if it wasn't literally on Disney Plus. Like we're kind of just advertising Disney Plus at that point.
That's the slogan. That's the cat advertising slogan. Like, not just a goof. Watch it.
And we are officially sponsored by Budweiser Zero. So go drink without drinking.
The taste of beer without the alcohol.
All the worst part of a beer without the good parts.
I don't need this.
All right.
Alright.
Good.
Budweiser sounds like a good name for a drink, actually.
All right. Let's just end it here, shall we?
All right, see you, folks. Remember, stand out, and after today, you're going to want to.
And don't forget to see eye to eye.
Yep.
On the open road.